Hey guys, Zykick here, and welcome back to another episode of Cave Factory with me. Hello, and I'm jumping in right after the last episode. I don't care if my phone told me it's bedtime. I've got things to do, and I'm in a talkative mood. So, I'm gonna just jump right back into, we're gonna do a little bit of mine colonies. And maybe some food, but mostly mine colonies. So, I think I showed you guys this before. I don't remember if I showed you guys that I terraformed a little bit in here, but I did terraform a little bit in here, so I do have this little, like, curvy thing going down, so it's not all just linear. I decided to ditch the whole, trench thing that I have going on, because honestly, the way that I have this dug out, it's not big enough for me to bother doing something like that. If I ever, in the future, wanted to do that, probably in an overworld instead of a cave, cool, but I'm ditching it for now. So what we need, just to do some mine colonies, the quest is just to build a town hall from level 5. So all you technically need, if y'all are wanting to do this quest, all you need technically is the builder and the town hall. Technically a town hall, then the builder. And then all you need to do is tell the builder to build his house up to level 5. You gotta do it one level at a time. His or her. Or they. Build their house up to level 5, and then build the town hall up to level 5, and that's all you need. Now, unless things have changed, but that's how it used to be when I used to play Mine Colonies several years ago. Or play with Mine Colonies. I know the mod has updated quite a bit. There's a bunch more buildings and that sort of thing that I'm not used to. But we're just going to go ahead and dive into this. So I'm going to type in Mine Colonies. And the one thing that we need is a town hall to begin with. So I technically have the supply ship and the supply camp. I think this is supposed to supply me with stuff to do this, but I believe I can do a lot of this without. So for the town hall, it's really easy. You just need 2 build tools, which is just some cobblestone and sticks, and then a bunch of wood, and it'll give you a town hall. So I should be able just to craft that. Cool. And I have some extra build tools. So for the town hall, since I have this here, I placed this in where I think the middle is, but the middle is not always where the block itself goes. So the reason I recommend having the build tool is if you use the build tool, so I'm going to sit here and right click here, and it's going to lag a second because it's big. It's going to pull up this menu, and what you're wanting to do is pick up, if you have the item in your inventory, decorations are always default. If you have an item in your inventory, it'll allow you to click it, and I click Town Hall. Now for me, and I don't know where my sheet went. I have located my sheet. I'm personally gonna go with the style, which is this middle one, Medieval Spruce. So I'm gonna go scroll down, I'm gonna find, there's a bunch of medieval ones. I'm just doing the normal one, I'm not even doing the alternative. And then what I like to do, because I always like to see what the final ones are, is I click level 5. Now, this does not mean it's going to outright choose level 5, and from here you can hit escape and it won't go anywhere. But it allows me to look at what the building's going to look like once you maximize it, and that's how I kind of choose, like, is this the style that I want to go with? And this is what I ended up going with. So this is what a tier 5 town hall is going to look like. This is our final goal. And all you gotta do is with your build tool is you right click it again, and then from here you can use these buttons that are in the middle, and you could still change settings if you want to on the top, but the button in the middle, I like to use these to kind of like orient how I want it. So I know this is the back of the building, so I want the front to face, and then I'm kind of trying to line it up with my blocks. Now it might not be perfect, obviously, because my blocks seem a little off here taken with my outside thing, but that's all right. I'm not gonna complain about it. I just have to decide exactly how I want this to be centered. So that's the back of each, and that's the corner. I think I did something like, yeah, this is right, because the way that I mapped this out on my alternate world is I put this block here. So each measurement that I have on my list, which y'all can't see and probably never will, is a little bigger than what it should be because of the way that I measured it. But yeah, so I, just as future reference for myself, for Zykick, we want it to be on the inner corner here for each thing. So, oh Jesus, hang on. So I messed up So I paused the recording and turned my microphone off so I could go do stuff on my phone. And then I didn't turn the microphone back on. So I just recorded the rest of the episode in silence. So I'm gonna redo that, but let's just catch up to where I left off last episode, or in the first 5 minutes of this current episode. So I was in the middle of putting down the town hall, and a lot happened since then. So let me do a quick recap. Ignore the people that are around me. So I went to go place down the town hall, and it allowed me to place it, and I was using this build tool. I was showing you guys how it works, up and down, blah, blah, blah. But it wouldn't actually let me create a colony without actually putting down the supply camp or a supply ship, which when I did this in my test world, I didn't have to do, but I was also in creative in my test world, which would explain a lot. So I went ahead and decided I was going to put it, I had a couple choices. I had either the back corners over there, because I don't have any buildings over there, or I could put it over here, either on this, on this side or this side of our entrance. And I decided over here is kind of what I would like, because as I'm walking down, it kind of just, it fits with the vibe a little bit. Kind of just being off to the side. So I put it down. You do not use your build tool on that. You just right click the ground and it'll act like the build tool and you get to just place it. And it'll put all the blocks. There is no like somebody building it. There's nothing that you have to do. It'll just give you the blocks. In this chest, it'll give you some basic stone tools, an axe, a pickaxe, a sword, and a shovel, I believe. And then when you walk into here, in this barrel, there will be a build tool from Structureize, a town hall building, and 16 paper. So you were able to actually do the town hall from there. You don't have to actually craft it. But once you get that down, it'll give you it'll say mine colonies as the achievement, and then you are allowed to go back to your town hall, and you can either place it if you haven't before, or go ahead and place it and click begin colony. I began my colony. I've named it Zycaria. And this will spawn 4 villagers quite slowly, but will. So our villagers, our first one here, which she is actually going to be our builder, is Adelie. Our next one to spawn was over here. His name is Micah. So Micah joined. After Micah, it was Raul, who's now hanging out over here. And then after Raul, it was Mavis. So these 4 spawned because Adelie was first. She got to be the builder. She was assigned builder before even the last 2 spawned, so I didn't really have a chance to look at their skills to determine who was best for the job, but I don't think it really matters right now. They're all going to metaphorical bed. So I need to actually go sleep, I believe, in order to get them to do anything over the night. Well, actually, they can do things overnight, especially because they don't have beds, but they get cranky. There is like a happiness meter that you have to keep up with them over time, and it's going to include different things like hunger, which they're super happy about right now because nobody's hungry, but they are upset about like lack of housing, lack of employment. Eventually they'll be upset. This is the first time I have slept in this pack. You want to know why? I never know when it's bedtime. So, and hopefully in the past, me sleeping would mess up the mine colonies people a little bit, so hopefully that won't happen. I'm only doing it right now just because we just started the episode. I don't plan on doing that very often at all. But now that it's daytime, they'll wander, and she'll get back to work. So, yeah. So they all spawned. I went ahead and placed down our builder over here, the building thing, and y'all won't be able to see what it looks like now, but that's okay. And cleared it out. So she's already started building. I gave her she asked for a pickaxe, and since she's a lower tier, she does require a lower tier pickaxe. Where is your inventory? Settings, crafting, work orders, required main inventory. So for the lower tiers, it's in normal vanilla, it's either a golden pickaxe or a wooden. I'm going with golden because it's a little faster despite the lower durability. This one also can deal with, I forget the name of the pickaxe already, but it is from a different mod. I think it's from Botania. Didn't bother to even look at the crafting recipe, so I don't think it matters too much. But anyway, I gave her the pickaxes. She dug some holes. She asked for dirt. I gave her dirt, and then she put path in the holes. So, but now she's asking for a bunch of different items now. So if you click over to open request, she's going to be asking for everything that you need to build the tier 1 builder. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some like spruce stuff. Hopefully I have enough spruce stuff, because that is one of those things, yeah, that I didn't really pay too much attention to. But I'm just gonna grab a bunch of stuff, and when you give it to her, she will always, so if you click fulfill, she'll always take the exact amount that you have in your inventory. So if you have a little bit more, if you have a little bit less, if you have a little bit more, she will take less. They'll always take the exact amount that they ask for. I don't know why I say things the way that I do, but ignore me. So thankfully, I happen to have a lot of materials already, so it's not too bad. Fulfill that, fulfill those slabs. I do need spruce planks. That should be enough. And they talk every time you click them, so don't be alarmed. Now, the thing is I don't think she will start crafting until she gets all of the material that she's requesting. I'm not 100% sure about that. I could be lying out of my butt right now. But who knows? Do I have cobble? Yeah, I don't want to make more cobblestone stairs if I have plenty. I also need spruce. I serve with pleasure. Yeah, I know. Stop talking. I also need some spruce fences. So I need sticks. I get to build it again? You haven't built it yet. Y'all talk too much. I don't remember how many fences you said you need. 14 is fulfill that. You need a spruce door. That's nice and easy. I think you said you need coarse dirt. Coarse dirt. Oops, she's building. Nope, she's decided she's got enough material to go. Alright. Now she's decided it's not enough. We'll work on it. Let's get the chit-chat. Okay, you could have the door, you can have the dirt, you can have the dirt. So I need 61 spruce stairs and 11 vertical spruce. Vertical spruce. And I believe it's going to be... Did I look at that right? Vertical spruce timber frame. Vertical spruce timber frame. There it is, just the plain timber frame. Okay, that's easy. It's just the build tool and two spruce on top. So that we can do. I don't remember how many she asked for, so she's getting 16. I serve with pleasure. And now 61 spruce stairs. And everyone's here to stare while we figure this out. Yay! I need 61 stairs. That's 36. And that's enough. I get to build it again? You haven't built it yet. Okay. So now that's a bunch of material. So you see how fast your inventory will fill up with items when you're doing this sort of thing. But once you give them enough, and honestly, Adelie is a pretty good builder. She's going pretty fast. She's going much faster than my test world did at first, so... and that's even me giving them items instantly, so she's doing real good. But yeah, so she's just building the tier 1. They'll build it a layer at a time, so they'll do whatever the bottom layer is. So I think... Oh, I didn't get to show you guys. When the town hall, they have like this little jail area that's actually in the basement. So once you start getting to those tiers, they'll start at the basement level and work their way up bit by bit. So sometimes you might not actually see what they're working on because it's underground and they haven't quite mined out the items that they need. I thought I heard fireworks. Fireworks will happen when they're done. But usually you can kind of sort of see. And they're really good about trying to get to tall areas and that sort of thing. The only thing I ever worry about is the lighting issues, but I think because we have these ferro lanterns down, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Excuse me. So while she builds that, I guess what I can do next is look at... The next thing I do want to build for Mine Colonies is simply the tavern. And the reason why I want to build a tavern is because even at tier 1, it has 4 beds. I have 4 villagers. So this will allow them to sleep. Because actually, I don't remember if the builder actually sleeps in their own house. I don't think they do. I think the builder's building is just like a store. So even though they store things in there, and I can't remember if there's a bed, but they're gonna live in the tavern. So that'll at least keep them housed and happy in that way. Because like if I go look at Mavis right here and click on happiness, you can see all of the different things. So they're neutral about most things, but they're unhappy about social factors, so unemployment or homelessness, which is what they're dealing with. There's no guards in the colony. I won't get any guards until I build the guard towers. They're unemployed, and there's not enough housing. So when their happiness levels are too low, they also, I think, I don't know if they completely stop working unless it's just that bad, but they do work less well, I think, question mark. Anyway, I want to build the tavern. And I need a barrel, but most of these things that you get, they're in the mod structurized. They're not hard to craft whatsoever. So it's just a matter of doing that. Honestly, with most of mine colonies, the hard part is just getting them the materials that they need, especially when you start getting up to higher tiers. Like the builder's gonna actually start requiring a lot more complicated materials with the higher tiers that you get. And also, when I'm holding the build tool, you'll see this white grid in the back. That's actually where my claim ends. So I think I did this well enough, yeah. But if it works the way I think it should work, is that when I put these towers down, it should expand my land by a chunk or two, and I think it's by a chunk, to kind of surround that. I think it's just like as long as you're not building completely outside of the chunk. Yay! The builder's done. Fireworks. It should do that. But anyway, the builder's done. So builder Adelaide's, I could reach builder building. And it says, with the builder's hut completed, we should turn our attention to resource production. Perhaps you should get a forester or miner and a tavern to house your citizens. So I'm just going straight for tavern. I have enough wooden stuff on my own. But yeah, so this is the tier 1 builder. It's super simple. And they actually will eventually have a basement as well, but this is what they're working with for now. Just a little down. They do have their inventory, so if I go into here, so when they mine, they get the ores as well. So this is great. They get the ores and all the different types of cobblestone. So if I ever needed those, I have them. So, and they'll store things here too. So she can reuse a lot of materials that I give her too. So if I give her way too much dirt, she'll store that. And then in the next build, she'll use that before she'll ask for more, usually. Not guaranteed. But anyway, so let me show you again with the tavern. So I'm going to do a tavern. I want to do the medieval spruce and all the way to level. Now, the tavern only goes to level 3. That's okay. I'm not going to complain about it. It's confusing to me, but whatever. So I want that to face me. And do it like that. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to have my buildings look a little weird with the way that they're structured, especially because things are going to be like in front of the town hall and that sort of thing, but I think it'll look fine. So it's fine. And blue just means I think as you're really close to it. I don't think it'll physically affect anything. Hopefully. My math says it shouldn't. I think the blue, this is showing me what the tier 5 will look like. So I think it does that to kind of show you what it'll look like if you put these buildings together at max level. Or whatever level that you're wanting to be, which is cool. So that's what the tier 5 will look like when it's done next to the tavern, which I think this will work. I could technically have the tavern a little closer by a block. There is enough room to do that. But I think I like it where it is because I do like to be able to walk in between the buildings without feeling too cramped about it. So I think this will work perfectly, so we're just going to go ahead and click check mark, and that'll place that down. It's going to break the block that it was in because this one's tavern, a large portion of it is underground. For some reason, don't ask me. And I'm just going to go ahead and break these. But I think before I actually build the tavern, I do want our builder to go ahead and build the town hall. But we'll go ahead and do that off camera, and I will show you guys what it looks like in the next episode, because we are at the end of this one. I technically recorded this episode twice, so I've been going for quite a while, and I need to go to bed. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any tips, tricks, or anything like that, I always greatly appreciate it. Most of, if not really all of Mine Colonies is going to be off camera. Of course, I will come in here and update you guys and show you how it's going. If we ever start a new building, I'll just show you what that'll look like as a tier 5 before we start building it. It's just a lot of this is, and I think I said this before I forgot to turn on my mic, a lot of Mine Colonies is babysitting to a certain point. So I'm going to have to sit here and sit with our builder, Adelie, and give her the materials as she asks for them. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to get done. Normally with Mine Colonies, you're trying to get up to a level of self-sufficiency. I'm not allowing enough space in our colony for that to really be a thing that we can do. Of course, I'm going to have the mine, and then I'm going to have the forester, but generally you also want to have restaurants, and there's different, like, you can have a stonemasonry that'll craft certain things for you. There's so many buildings now. Mine Colonies is huge. You're basically building a city at that point. But because I don't want to personally do that, I'm gonna have to personally do a lot of babysitting, but that's okay. But yeah, so I think I've talked enough for today. I think y'all can hear it in my voice, so I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!